Hi everybody, and welcome to this video on the full moon in Aries that takes place on the 1st of October 2020 at 10:05 in the evening, and that's based on London time. Thank you for joining me. I am going to give you a rundown of what this chart next to me is about. It's a snapshot of the sky at the moment this full moon happens, and you can see the circle in the middle with all the lines and the different aspect patterns. Those are the relationships the full moon forms with other planets in the sky and how they influence the day's energy. So I'm going to have a look at that and what it all means and how you can make the most of it and how you can use this to have an amazing new start. Okay, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's like spring, it's new beginnings. So first of all, the sun and the moon are 180 degrees away from each other. That's why the moon is totally lit up. And a full moon, the moon reflects the sun's energy and it lets go. So it's fully lit and it kind of showers all of us here on planet Earth with this Aries energy, which it's able to let go. And Aries is the ram. It's the first sign of the zodiac which really needs to make an impression and which really needs to be independent. It's like being born. It's new energy. It's your identity. It's you as a separate source of energy and really being responsible for the self and having a plan. So I'm here, I've been given this body and this energy and ideas, I might as well do something with it. And Aries is about deciding what is it that I want to do for myself and what directions do I want to go in life. So it's really taking things back to the very, very basics of who you are and what your core drives are, what it is you really want in life. So if you don't know what you like, this is a great day to find out, because a lot of people don't know what they like. And in my experience, it's an ongoing process of learning about yourself. Like, I only learned to ride a skateboard like last year, and it's something I absolutely love doing. An electric one, mind you. So I'm kind of cheating, but I love it. So I didn't know about that, and it was because I was willing to learn something that I happened upon something I like. So again, if you're 80 or 12, it really doesn't matter. It's about finding something new and being honest with yourself and saying, I want to discover things that I don't know about myself yet. So if you think you don't like to exercise, have you tried all the different ones to find a type that you actually do enjoy? It's a rhetorical question. The answer is probably not. Okay, so it's at 9 degrees as well. 9 in numerology is spirituality and completion. In the tarot, 9 is the hermit. So it's about shining this light and saying, what's going on in here? And taking time out for yourself. It's interesting because, yeah, this is called the harvest moon, because it's the 1st of October in the northern hemisphere. They've still got some crops in the field. It's time to pull that in, use your energy to set that goal, pull in the crops, sort them, harvest. Yeah, I would call it the hermit moon because it's your energy, and rather than going out and harvesting things, well, you might do that, but it's time to harvest what it is you like, what it is that fires you up, what it is that drives you, what brings you a sense of joy in life, because you're responsible for having a good life. I hate to break it to you, but no one else is going to say, what does John like? What makes John happy? Let's throw him a present, or let's make him have a great day. No one does that. You're really responsible for yourself. And if you're not having a good time, you owe it to yourself to plan and put something into your life that allows you to have a good time. And for a lot of people, it's about just simply knowing what it is you like. So test things out. Go for a walk by the beach if you're lucky enough to live near one. Or play chess online, or Monopoly online, or whatever. Or meditate, because it is the hermit full moon. The hermit likes to be alone and to really have time for himself to look within. So if you've tried chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo and you don't like that, and you've done pranayama and you hate that, then try mindfulness. There's always something else that works. And again, I had to learn that myself. I had to do 10 different types of meditation, which I despised, before I found my way of meditating, which is transcendental meditation, which works for me. And the same thing with the exercising. I had to try loads of different things. So there are things out there which will surprise you and which will make your life better. Now, Chiron, the wounded healer, the asteroid, is in Aries at 7 degrees, right next to the full moon. So it's 2 degrees away. Want to choose a relationship. So the full moon in Aries does have a relationship with Chiron, in that it says, use your creativity and your intellect to look at how you can heal this situation in your life. So the lack of fun, or the lack of people in your life, or the lack of connection, or any sense of, wow, this is really worth getting up in the morning for. You're really able to heal that by pulling back a little bit, like the hermit would, and having this perspective of, I can look at myself and my whole life, I have access to it, and I'm able to, you're able to act your way into thinking. You're able to act your way into finding new things you like. So that's what the Aries is about. You've got to act. Act. Use your body, okay? Be real. So I don't know that I like reading books until I've actually started reading the lines. So that's what the moon is saying. You've got to actually do the Pilates if you want to find out whether you like the Pilates, okay? Or you got to eat the chocolate if you want to know that you like the chocolate. Or you got to work as a marketing expert to know that you're a marketing expert. So don't be afraid to roll up your sleeves and to try something totally outside of your comfort zone. In terms of the actual day, it's a Thursday. So it's a working day in most places, and yeah, maybe you want to shadow someone who works in finance and you want to see what that job is all about. Or someone who works in the city in London, like you know someone, it's like, can I go in with you today to see what the environment's actually like? Might be worth it. Also, I'm being told, things that you've written off in the past is, I cannot do this. Revisit, see if you can do it at this point in your life, because it's likely that you've learned much more and that you can actually do it. So second chances are given as well. Personal healing. Okay. If you've got a psychosomatic condition and you've been to loads of doctors about it and they're all like, we don't know what's wrong with you, and you know that something's off in your body. I mean, we all know our bodies better than anybody else. So the doctors don't believe you, the holistic people don't believe you, and you know that something's off. Like, let's say your esophagus didn't feel like this a month ago or a year ago. It's really a good time as well to use that hermit energy to look within and to ask the question of the higher self. Why is swallowing difficult? Or why is there a lack of energy? Why is there pain? Let the body speak to you and ask the question, why am I experiencing this? Why am I ill? It's really likely that you'll get an answer. So if you do have a meditation practice that works for you and you have some unresolved health concern, meditate on it. You're going to get a lot of answers today. Wow, it's amazing. Now, the full moon forms a lot of relationships with other planets. First, there is a semi-square, so it's 45 degrees away from, I'm just gonna look back. It's 45 degrees away from the midheaven in Aquarius at 24 degrees. So you have the opportunity to or to discover something that you like or that motivates you in life by listening to other people and by allowing yourself to be teachable. So also go to a seminar to learn about angels, or read a book on how to do a certain thing, or believe someone else who says, I get a real kick out of exercising for an hour in the morning. It gives me endorphins, makes me happy. You're like, okay, whatever. Reserve judgment and actually try it out. See if it works for you. So be teachable. Opportunities come to you via other people and your higher self. So allow yourself to be taught. You don't know everything you like just yet, but you will if you listen and if you let yourself be taught by the universe today. Next, we've got a square between the full moon and Pallas Athena at 14 degrees in Capricorn. Oh, wow. So this can even give you insight into doing something that you love to do in your working life that's going to set you free. So if you're stuck in a job that you don't like, you may get lucky, and one of the things that you discover about yourself, or that you're taught, or that you overhear, that there's another career path for you, and that if you try it, you don't know what it's going to be like yet, but the likelihood that if you decide to make the effort to change your work, that it could lead to freeing you up, so that work is no longer a daily grind, but it's a pleasure and a joy that you can do, and that frees you purpose-wise and income-wise. So that's amazing. Wow, so congrats to all of the people who discover their life purpose as it pertains to career today. Congrats everybody, because that is so draining. I was looking for years and years and years, what should I do for work? And it was just like, from one to the next, it was awful. It's so draining not to know what you love to do. And today you can find it, and that's like a homecoming in itself. It's like, oh, thank goodness, I can just devote myself to learning this one subject now. I don't have to be a jack of all trades anymore. Thank goodness. Then there is a quincux. It's 150 degrees away from Mercury and Scorpio at 4 degrees. So the moon in Aries gives you this great insight into yourself. Mercury is the communication planet. Scorpio is the sign of the zodiac that's ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation and change, the ruler of the underworld, okay? So Scorpio goes into the underworld to understand what's going on and to heal and to bring things back. It's like an angel diving into hell to rescue someone who has been misplaced from heaven to hell. Yeah. To intervene. It's not just misery for misery's sake and digging around in a wound just to make it hurt. It's digging around in a wound to get the bullet out so that the wound can actually hurt. No, heal. Heal, okay? Heal. So, Mercury in Scorpio may say difficult things which aren't particularly pleasant and things that you don't want to hear, which may be true. And by knowing them, that's something that teaches you. So if someone says to you, oh my God, you're so insecure, what's the matter with you? Then you may be insecure, and it may be affecting your life negatively. And rather than saying, who are you to tell me that? Maybe listen, assess it, and say, could I be insecure? It's really likely that you are going to be taught by your higher self or other people today, and that kind of thing seems, I mean, it's not pleasant, is it? Oh, I'm insecure? Great. But if you actually realize that you are, then you can do something about it. You can find a meditation practice that makes you feel connected to yourself. You can look at who you are and try and make your life match what it is you want it to be. And then you can build security by taking action. But you can't do anything about it if you don't know there's a problem. So if something becomes apparent to you today, if you realize that, wow, emotionally there's something here that's really holding me back, or there's a certain heaviness in my life, or there's something that I'm super rigid about and I just will not change. If that comes up and you're like, oh, I don't want to look, that really is the ding, 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 ding that you should look. Because you're going to be faced with uncomfortable truths. This isn't just here's a present, here's your life purpose, go be a dentist. It's not like that. It's about, I like working with people, I'm intelligent, I like working with my hands, I'm super structured, and I don't know, that's enough to be a dentist. It's just kind of certain things clicking into place, ping, until they make sense. It's not just a note being slid under the door saying, go be a race car driver. It's something that happens within. It's more like a puzzle starting to make sense. So if you haven't been able to see yourself clearly and you're always this fuzzy, vague figure in your own life, you'll be able to see yourself clearly today. What you deserve, what you can be, and where you're really just not rising to the occasion and where you're being overly confident. You're really able to see yourself super, super clearly with this Mercury in Scorpio. So you're able to trust your own self-assessment. And that's why if someone says something like you're so insecure, you can honestly say, okay, didn't like hearing that, but I'm going to check in with myself. And it's like, okay, if it's actually true, then I'm able to swallow that bitter pill. And that's helpful. I mean, none of us are perfect. We all need to know. I prefer knowing what is the matter. Although, has that helped in my life? Have I been able to change things as a result? Not sure. Yeah, I mean, if I'm in a social situation and I'm doing something incorrectly, I want someone to pull me up on it so I can fix it, of course. I think that's, of course. But if it's just, obviously if it's just an insult, then who cares? But we all need to know where we're not achieving so that we can fix it if it's within our purview to kind of change and rise to the occasion. So be ready to see your own flaws, but don't judge that and learn from it and allow yourself to be teachable. We then have, okay, so it forms these relationships with the other things I've mentioned, and it doesn't form any other aspect patterns that I can see, but in the chart itself there's some really important things like a Star of David and a mystic rectangle. So I'm just double checking that I haven't missed anything. So we've got the semi with the midheaven. Oh dear, I'm sorry. The square with the Pallas Athena, quincunx with Mercury, opposition with the Sun. Yep, that's it. Okay, so first of all, the mystic rectangle, what I'm going to direct your vision to is this square. So if you tilt your head, it goes from Venus in Leo, it trines Black Moon Lilith and Mars in Aries, then it sextiles Ceres and the midheaven in Aquarius, trines Mercury in Scorpio, and then there isn't a line between Venus and Mercury where there should be. There should be a sextile for this to count as a mystic rectangle. It's got to have 2 sextiles and 2 trines. I'm going to count it anyway because I see a mystic rectangle. Just because one of the sides is missing doesn't mean it's not there. A mystic rectangle takes really conflicting, not compatible energy and puts it together in a way that really works. So it's that amazing sense of self-confidence and that you deserve to love and that you deserve to have a life which is full of love. You really, oh, that's so beautiful to just hear that. Yeah, you know, you are meant to be happy. They all say life is suffering and but you owe it to yourself to really explore the things in life that bring you joy. That's how I see it anyway, because life is suffering, and if you inject things that you find beautiful and joyous, you have so much control over that. You may think you don't like anything, you may think that life is boring, it isn't. If you get out of your comfort zone and you try things that you don't know that you like, you will discover things that you like on this day, and it lights you up like a Christmas tree. And we all want to be lit up like a Christmas tree rather than a sad little pine in the woods, okay? Mars and Black Moon Lilith are saying you need to, but you can't because you've never been able to manage it before. Ceres is saying that refer to other people, they might have some wisdom that you aren't aware of, so do talk to people, yep. And that's great, because that negates Black Moon Lilith, so if I don't know, then I can't, and I haven't done it before, then it can't be real. I'm teachable, so even if I don't know it within me, it might come from someone else. That's huge, okay? You're teachable, your ears are open today. Your listening ears are on, as just Judy would say. And that Ceres in midheaven then also trines Mercury in Scorpio. So you have this built-in lie detector, so if someone's telling you a lot of BS, you're like, this is BS, I don't need to listen to this. But if it's real, it's a real insight or a genuine contribution, even if it doesn't feel great, you're able to take it on board and say, yeah, I agree. So you're able to learn from other people about yourself and what lights you up, and you're able to trust the lessons that you get on this day. Then we have a Star of David. A Star of David is a 6-sided star, and it's made up of 2 trines, 2 grand trines. In this case, they're even more complicated, they're kites. Okay, so a grand trine, first of all, you see the blue lines, right? With the triangles in the middle, that's a trine. That's when 2 planets are 120 degrees away from each other. So let's look at the first trine in air. So if you just tilt your head a little bit, it connects the rising in Cancer with Mercury in Scorpio, and and Ceres and the midheaven in Aquarius. So that's a big blue triangle called a grand trine. So we've got 3 trines together creating a big blue triangle. They're called a grand trine, and that's an area of talent. So this gives you the ability to communicate your feelings effectively, to connect with other people's feelings and to make sense of them, and to really articulate something that's going to be useful. So yes, not only are you teachable today, but you can also teach other people And because you have that education hat on, I guess, that's why you're willing to learn about yourself and you don't just reject everything and take it personally. So that's a big blessing, because we often miss opportunities because we just shut down. So I'm sure some people in your life have told you truths and you've cut those things off before even looking to see whether the other person was right or not, or whether they're trying to help you or not, just because you did take it personally and you're like, what? I'm not, no. And then, I mean, this is PhD territory as far as I'm concerned, because most of us think that if we confront other people, they'll listen to us and they'll learn something from it. But then if you look at yourself in that situation, when you're confronted, most people, myself included, so if someone confronts me, the first reaction isn't to be, oh, someone's confronting me, I must be wrong and this must be a learning opportunity. For most of us, it's usually to go defensive, because everyone hears stuff that isn't true, and if you were going to take everything on board that was negative, you'd just be mired in negativity. So it's a natural thing to have your guard and your defenses up. But today, the big talent is that that defense doesn't rob you of an opportunity to learn. Lucky us. The other trine, this one points downwards, it's within this other blue triangle. This one is in fire. It connects the south node in Sag with Mars and Black Moon Lilith in Aries, and then Venus in Leo. And usually a trine is just in one element, so the other one ought to just be in water, but it's got the midheaven and Ceres in air. So that's not, it's because it's 29 degrees, so it's a little bit, I'm being generous again. It's either water or air or fire. So the first one I would say is in water, and that gives you a talent to have emotional wisdom and security and stability. And this other trine in fire connects the south node with Venus and Black Moon Lilith and Mars and Aries. And that is about taking yourself seriously. You're important, you deserve to be happy, and you have the freedom to choose your future. And it really, whether you are happy or not, it's making me cringe, because to say this is such a big statement. It's really down to you whether you're happy or not. Can't be right. What about my health condition? What about the... Okay, so despite all of the things life may be making you miserable about, regardless of that, you still have control of your life. And even if there are certain things in your life that make you miserable, doesn't mutually exclude things that bring you joy. So today, it's one thing saying, oh, you're depressed, drag yourself out and go play basketball to cheer you up. That never works, okay? But on a day like this, when you're feeling rubbishy and you don't know what you like, this full moon sweeps in. That's why I do these videos, because it's an energy that influences us. And it comes along and it says, hey, here's some strength. Let's light a match and show this person what they enjoy in life and what they can do, and how they can structure their future to have this thing in their future. So it gives you a lift, and it's a reprieve from the feelings that paralyze you and keep you stuck. And it says you're not stuck today, you can choose again. Here's a lot of motivation and fire for a certain thing or a person. Go for it. And you feel strong enough to naturally do all of this, so you don't have to flog yourself into action and criticize yourself and You just, all you have to do is be nice to yourself and feel the fire. Feel the burn. Feel the burn, okay? And just go with it and enjoy it. It will set you free. Now, the fire trine points that way, the water trine points that way, and they intersect one another and they create a six-pointed star. And that's the Star of David. And the six-pointed star is balance between life on earth and life in spiritual truth. And they're in perfect sync. So you can listen to your gut and you can say, this brings me joy. I'm going to take action on this. I'm going to trust myself because I can. I'm the star. And David is helping me, okay? Now, it's also, like I said before, they're kites. So a grand trine with two sextiles sitting on top of it is a kite, and that's a talent that can take off. And the first one is this emotional wisdom that takes off with Mars and Black Moon Lilith. It's your ability to not judge it and to act on your feelings. That's what sets you free. So I am depressed, that sucks, let me sit here. It's not that. I don't feel good. I'm being shown something here that brings me joy. I'm going to latch onto that joy and see where it leads me. The other one is the fire trine with the midheaven and Ceres and Aquarius on top of it. So you're able to set yourself free by taking yourself seriously, and that is a way of honoring yourself. And if you do that for yourself today, in a few months or years from now, you're going to be teaching other people the same thing. Because you've done it for yourself, you'll be able to teach other people how to do it. Wow. There's another squished mystic rectangle in it. Oh no, but this is seriously squished. 2 trines, so Mercury and the rising in Cancer, with sextile Mars and Black Moon Lilith, and then the part of fortune in Capricorn on the descendant and the south node in Sag. So this one gives you the ability to understand yourself and to take action on what it is you understand. And you have the practical abilities to make that a reality, and it sets you free. So you really need to listen to yourself and what it is you want out of life. It's important, okay? You know what you want. No one else does. And if you haven't known until today, you will know today. That's the beauty of this Aries moon. I love Aries. It's so, let's go, let's do it. We can. Yes, we can. Yeah. Let me see if there are any other things here that I want to talk about. We've still got Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter in Capricorn. Saturn's gone direct now. Pluto's gonna go direct on the, I think it's the 4th of October. So the outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, aren't going to be in retrograde anymore. On this day, though, the 1st of October, you're still being asked how you want to change what you're building in your life. 22 is the master node of the builder. Capricorn is work. So you've built your life up until this point, but you're now building something else. What are you going to build, and what's going to serve as your legacy? Are you going to give to a charitable donation and make that your legacy? Or are you going to write a self-help book? Or are you going to invest and invest in a university or donate to a university and build them a library? Do you want a legacy? Are your legacy your children? Why is it important? If you're wanting to be of service to other people, and if you want that to be your legacy, it's really likely that you get a very strong, concrete message on this day. If it's about, I want to be remembered for being the most glorious human being on earth, and there's no service, and it's just servicing you by building up your ego, that's something that could motivate you and drive you. And that could be something that serves people indirectly. So even that, if that comes in loudly and strongly, it's something you really ought to listen to. If it wasn't there, you know, if there wasn't, let's say you feel you want to be the world's top actor, okay? But you're not particularly attractive, nor do you go to the gym every day to beef up, like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson or something, okay? But you still have this huge desire to act. Then that desire is there for a reason, and it may be that you're not the next Dwayne Johnson, but that you're a character actor. You know, that you're the next Andy Garcia, although he's quite good looking. I always loved him. Yeah, like a good character actors, let me think. Robert, the Huffman guy who's passed away. You know what a character actor is. I don't need to give you examples. If it's something that fires you up today, it's real and it's valid, and just because it doesn't look the way you imagined it doesn't mean it's not for you. Try again, especially if it didn't work out in the past, but it's still something that lights you up inside, because that is the definition of higher self-guidance. It's quiet, it's consistent, it makes you feel a certain way, and it happens over and over and over and over again until you do it. So you're being really supported here with all these lovely aspects, saying everything's in balance, feel and go with the flow, and it's all good. So the only thing you need to really be aware of, just get off your own back and don't hammer yourself into the ground with criticism, and just let yourself flourish and go with the flow. Look at what makes you feel good and just allow yourself to go with that. And that is it. Yep. So that's what I get for you during this full moon. I hope you have a lovely time. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the book your readings button on the front page to order your reading with me. In my personal readings, I use astrology, and I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth to draw up your natal chart. Once I have the natal chart, I can see everything about you. So your career path, your life purpose, what's destined for you in money and love and beauty and romance and communications and travel and family, children, work, money, career, romance, daily routine, institutions, education, travel, friends, hopes and dreams, spirituality, anything at all really. So if you have any questions, get in touch with me via the website so that I can answer your questions. If you don't have your time of birth, then order a chart rectification on the website. That's a process where I work out your time of birth. You give me 10 or more life events and I'm actually able to work out the exact moment you were born. That's important because the chart changes every 4 minutes. So I need the time of birth. If you don't have it, I use sunrise usually, but it is really good to have the exact time. I also use the tarot, numerology, my intuition, and I can answer any questions that may be on your mind. If you're at a crossroads, if you feel like something's expected of you and you don't quite know and you need some help, then get in touch with me. Have an amazing day. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing day and I'll speak to you next time. All the best.